There was another study.
Have a good day.
Bring that up.
When she was using this?
I'm going to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Go on the other street. It's like streaming on this one.
It's probably going to see. No, it'll be it's over by the shelf. On the shelf table. Oh, you're cheap.
Yeah, just
My bad. That's okay.
Okay, we're ready to get going. Let's go. All right. Well, this is our annual members meeting we required by the borough to have every year. So consider yourself fortunate. We had that was a great meeting. She was very informative, and I'd like to thank Gary because Gary's found her in the first place, and he has spent an abnormal amount of time with her this year.
A lot of emails back and forth.
And,
a lot of emails.
As we all talked amongst ourselves, it's not about second guessing what was done. Monday morning quarterbacking is very easy, but we want to make sure we do the right thing. So many times when you do something, you take a medicine, there are unintended results, and that's why we brought Dr. North in, who doesn't have a financial stake in us. One of the questions was asked about how much does this cost. We're still working through the details. It's not that we're trying to keep anything secret. We're just, everything's kind of in flux. She works for the state of Missouri or the University of Missouri, and they're real slow to get back on how much different things cost, how much of her overhead we have to pay. It's going to be significantly cheaper than going with a private consultant, and considerably better lab access. I mean, she's in the building with the labs. We're not having to mail samples to someplace in North Carolina and wait weeks to get numbers back. And she's taken a personal interest in this lake, which is really kind of exciting for all of us. And she can run downstairs to the lab and push our stuff to the head of the line. And
Which she did a lot of that
this
for
summer
us.
when we had our toxin
Yeah,
issue,
normally
so-
you have to wait until 4 or 5 months later of the testing, and they sample them during the fall and give the results in the winter time to the DNR or whatever. So she pushed, and she was doing this while she was in the Netherlands, getting her lab to push it forward. So yeah, she was incredible.
She's been a tremendous find, and she's very well respected in the industry. Dr. JJ knew of her. The DNR, we ran across somebody at the DNR just a month or so ago, and they're like, "Don't ask us these questions. You got to go to Dr. North." And we're like, "Well, we're already going to her."
Yeah.
And he said that's the right place to go. So anyway, I won't belabor that point. I just want to start talking about here's the current makeup of the board: myself, Karen Stevens, Joe, Bob Dixon, John Howard, Gary, Al Santiago, and Kathy Ayers just joined the board after Barry resigned a few weeks ago. This is our mission statement. Hasn't changed in years. We're focused on making this place a better place, and it's sometimes we alienate people because we're trying to do the right thing, but we do try to do the right thing. Really?
Keep it to your mouth.
Usually I do better if I just talk without it, but
Okay, can you hear me now?
all right. So
Start over.
No, I'm not starting over. 2025, our priorities were the lake restoration. You got a pretty good education on where we were at on that. We've got the road construction, which we'll talk a little bit more later, and communication improvements. And Gary's going to talk about those in a little bit. And first up, Joe is going to talk about the operating budget. It is sensitive.
I heard he ate some fish last night. All right, a couple of quick updates for everyone. If you have not, we didn't send a blast out yet because we just got this back in the middle of this week, but we did receive our final audit back from FEW, and that is posted on the website. It was another clean year within the audit, no improprieties, accounting is good. I think we had one adjusting entry that we need to put in for a piece of capital equipment that we purchased, but go ahead and look through that at your leisure, and we'll send a blast out next week when we post the September financials. So really quickly, I want to spend a couple of minutes just on our operating budget for the year. So far this year, we have spent roughly $350,000 of our $524,000 budget. Our sources of revenue, for the most part, are member dues, and we also collect fees through whether you're doing work on your house or new member initiation fees and things of that nature. And our largest expenses are the people who make this community run. So that's Michelle, that's Mike Schwartz, and our other part-time folks that support. Let me get there. Good God. Who have supported the security function, and then I'd be remiss not to mention TJ and the rest of the maintenance crew who do a tremendous job keeping this place running. So those are our people costs eat up a little over half of our budget, and then we have other expenses, insurance, our community maintenance, our utilities, legal accounting, vehicles, and then running our office. The one item here that you would maybe question is our community maintenance. We budgeted $40,000 this year. This was after we budgeted $70,000 last year, and we spent $50,500 through the first 9 months of the year. There are a couple of factors here. One, bad budgeting by me. Just screwed that one up. I had expected with our road with our road project that we would need to do a little less patching, and the fact is that we had to do a little bit more, particularly after a really wet spring that created a lot of issues with potholes throughout the community, and quite frankly, a couple of the winter storms that required us to purchase more salt than we had anticipated. So we can manage through that with some room that we have. It's not an area of concern, but that is the driver there. Any questions on operating budget? Happy to take them, so we don't have to wait till the end if there are any. And just a reminder, the financials are posted every single month. I post the operating budget, which also includes the capital expenses, so you'll see the outlays for road construction, and then I also present this, which you're not gonna be able to see unless you're standing this close, but this is a view of monthly collections for the road construction projects. So this outlines the assessment that is collected and has been collected each month. It also outlines the dollars that are in our restricted fund or in another restricted road fund, and then we have our expenses. So our expenses, starting here in August, we paid roughly $425,000 so far, and we expect to pay him another $350,000 here as he's wrapped up the first phase, and Tom will talk about that. But we are to the penny tracking the collections for this. It's going into a restricted assessment fund, and then the payments are tracked in a special projects fund as well, so that when we get to the end of the project, those will go into our capitalized assets and then be depreciated. It doesn't matter for us, we're a nonprofit, but we want to make sure the accounting works right. Any questions on that? Okay. I'll turn it over to Gary, who's going to give an update on the great work that's been happening this year on communication.
Well, I can't take credit for any great work for the new smoke signal. That was strictly from a young lady that came to me and said, Gary, I think I can help you make this smoke signal look a little bit better than what you're doing. She wasn't kidding. I was doing a terrible job with it. But it was the best I could do, so I thought it looked pretty good myself, but obviously I was wrong. But so when it comes to the smoke signal, real quick, we're continuously trying to improve on that. And we're talking about even giving it even a better, newer look at the beginning of next year or so. We'll see how good she turns out with that, so we'll see. Just real quick, we have 1,151 subscribers on Still Emails. Still Emails, in my opinion, are the best way to communicate what's going on in our community. We're still getting almost 100% people, when I send it out, almost 100% get it. What they do with it is a good question, but I have learned by looking at some of the data, just like today's meeting before this one, 2 of the most emails that get opened up is when it's subject titled Lake or Roads. I think everybody knows that we had to work on the roads, and now we got the lake to continue to work on as well. So it was pleasing to see everybody come out this morning in the crowd that we had. And we just all have to take stewardship to this lake. Every single one of us have to take this serious. Otherwise, we're fighting a losing battle in my mind. So with that being said, text messaging is continuously going up, 292. And again, that's strictly to blast something out that's really critical to get to your. Does anybody here not have a cell phone? Exactly. So that's why I like this, sending out the messages like that. So anyway, that's about all I have for communications.
Bob, you want to talk about CARE?
Thank you. Got just a few comments to bring you up to date on some CARE items. Our big initiative for 2025 was the use of the radar gun, both on land, especially in hot spots. And we learned to use it on the water with a fair amount of degree of accuracy. We will continue to do that, especially now with the new roads, because we all know that the old potholes were the biggest deterrent for speeding, and we got to be very vigilant that That's not one of the unintended consequences of the new roads. Enforcement of the rules and regulations, year to date, so this is through September, 9 months, 169 citations we have written. That compares to about 166 of all of last year. So in 9 months this year, we've written as many as we did in 12 months. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a negative. I think that has to do a lot with our staff, with Michael and Daniel, are getting more confident in what they're doing. We're getting much more help across the board. The board of directors are getting directly involved in trying to help us spot nuisance properties, so forth and so on. So our resources are being stretched a little bit. But I think the key metric that I like is the fact that the citations are trying to inform members of unwanted behavior in the sense that they're not in compliance with rules and regulations that you as members have come up with and voted on and want enforced. And 90% of the citations we sent out solved the problem. There wasn't a repeat or anything like that. So when I see that only 17 of 169 citations were second, that tells me the citation process is working. So I'm very happy with that. There's also an appeal process. We get things wrong occasionally. And there's not a lot of appeals, but a handful of appeals. And I'd say roughly 50% of the people that appealed their citation prove us that we had made a mistake. Two examples that are very easy. We've done a complete inventory of the dock identifications. And sometimes we miss them. We don't see the dock sign. And we send a citation out, somebody takes a picture of their dock sign, and so, oops, we made a mistake. Another example would be, we think we have identified a derelict boat on somebody's property that's in view of the public, therefore in violation of one of our rules and regulations. But the problem is, there's a cover over the boat, and the cover's hiding a Missouri sticker, which we can't see, and we don't go on the property and lift up the cover. So again, they very politely write us back saying, here's a picture, you missed it, so that's very, very simple. But I think the point is that the citation process is working, and we have a very robust, open and honest appeal process, and that's working as well. Joe went through the budget a little high level. So as far as staffing on security goes, just to go a little deeper, we had a budget of $67,000 this year. We're going to spend $57,000 probably. The difference is we had budgeted to include a second seasonal part-time employee. Unfortunately, we never found one that fit. So that will be one of our big initiatives for next year, along with continuing volunteerism on holiday weekends. In case you guys didn't notice, we have volunteers to man the front gate to keep traffic flowing and to keep our paid care employees out on the water, which would be much more impactful. Support the revival of the Community Watch program that Beth Campbell's leading, and that's going to be our focus. So if there's any questions, I'll entertain them right now. Yes, sir, in the back.
Do you know how many of those citations were for speeding?
I do not know that right now. I do not believe many, mostly because when we set up our speed gun in the car is very visible and people know exactly what we're doing. It's not like we're hiding behind a bunch of trees or something. But to answer your question, not many. But we think, because members see us out there, because members know we're doing this, it has had a positive impact. Thank you for the question. Tom, give it back.
Road restoration. That's the second most popular topic here in the community, I think, behind Gary's communication project.
Lake.
Huh?
Lake.
Yeah. Just to recap where we're at, we did an assessment a year ago for $2.5 million spread over 5 years. We went out and found our contractor through the bidding process, and Blankenship was far and away the lowest bid, and he came well recommended primarily by Crawford County engineer. They use him extensively and very happy with everything he did. So far, we're pretty much done with this year's project, with the exception of Pawnee and Sequoia. I get those backwards. We've done 5 miles of about 15 miles of the road, which is about 34% of the project. I think it went with as minimal interruptions to people or disruption to people as we could have done. It was kind of funny. We discovered the roads in some places were a lot wider than we thought they were once they started clearing stuff up. But we worked through those issues and got a lot done. The plan for 25 yet in November, he's going to come back and start on Pawnee and Sequoia if the weather cooperates, and we'll get that bladed off and chip and sealed. Next year, starting next week, the committee's going to get together and we're going to look at how much we can do next year, depending on an estimate of what we're going to collect and what we're going to do. We're going to focus next year of course, on this side of the lake, and we're going to focus on the heavily traveled roads next, and that'll be the next part. One thing everybody wanted me to mention was mailboxes. If you live on that side of the road, the post office has got very specific regulations on where your mailbox has to be. So some of the mailboxes are 4 or 5 feet off the road. Very shortly, you're going to get a notice in your mail from the post office, not from us, but they're going to tell you and give you a grace period. You've got to move your mailbox or you're not going to get your mail. And that's not from us, that's from the post office. But that is beneficial to us because if the post office, the mailman keeps driving off the edge of the road over and over again, they make a big rut in the shoulder and they will break down the road and we'll have bad roads again. So please get those taken care of as quickly as you can. I don't want to make any recommendations for contractors, but I did see on Facebook there was a gentleman with some experience on moving mailboxes that works fairly reasonably in the community. And that's all I have on roads. Are there any questions on roads, Joe?
You know, the mailbox, my mailbox is about 5 or 6 feet off, and so the mailman drives on my lawn because it's been that way forever. And so, do I have to wait until they put the road in?
I would wait. You're on this side of the road. I would wait till you got there because the road, we don't know exactly where the road's going to go. When he blades it off and sets up his equipment, it's kind of where the best place and where it fits to get the maximum efficiency. So, yeah, if you're on this side, don't move the mailbox until the road goes in. Okay?
Question. Well, when will citations start be sent from the HOA
Citations for what?
for not having a mailbox in the right place?
No, that's not on us. That's on the post office.
But what is on us is fixing the road that gets deteriorated by people driving off of it. So my question remains.
They're not gonna give you mail.
When do they start?
They're not going to get any mail. That's their function. We don't have the ability to give citations for that. The post office is going to take care of it. Does that explain it?
Roads get deteriorate as long as it gets fixed.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the same page.
Well, mailman's not gonna go over there anymore, he's just gonna stop delivering mail.
Yeah, that's correct.
Drive off side of the road, so the road damage won't happen, you just won't get your mail.
That's correct. That's what's going to fix it is you won't get your mail and she won't drive over there anymore. The other thing I would add to the mailboxes, if you're a part-timer down here, if you're only down here on weekends, take your mailbox down. Or at least put a zip tie on the latch so it locks shut. And then they won't have that issue at all anyway because you won't be getting mail. And then again, that's only for the people that this isn't their primary residence and they don't care about the mail here. Jim?
decide, are they gonna strike the roads when they get all done, or?
We're looking at striping right now. The idea, one of our thoughts was to put a white center line down the middle of the heavily traveled road. That's coming in a lot more expensive than we thought.
Could you
And
just
so,
do the
huh?
curves? Do the curves?
Yeah, we're looking at different options, just doing curves, but then again, they're bringing the equipment in. So we're trying to get some other bids. I think Mary Beth was going to go chase down some other people and see what we got. And that's a question for the group. I mean, do you think we need that?
No.
I guess that's pretty clear.
I don't think I heard one yes.
Joe, they agree with you.
Put the money into the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the message? Yes.
I'm curious, I was under the impression that the road improvement was gonna continue, weather provided, and, I was led to believe that the majority, if not all the work, was gonna be done over a 2-year period. And I'm getting the impression now that that's not the case. Nonetheless, either way, will the road work continue at the same pace that the money comes in, or will we be holding a debt at some point?
Okay, the question was, he thought that the roads would be finished over a 2-year period of time, and how will the money be spread? No, the answer is, no, the money is going to be spent over a 5-year period of time. That's the way we did that. And as we collect funds, we will do the road as we pay the contractor as we collect funds. We will not go into debt. We cannot do that. There was nothing in the assessment that gave us the ability to do that. So we will be doing it as we collect money. We can't do as many miles in the future years as we did this year because of a couple things. One, we had a fund built up of $80,000 for road improvements or repairs that we spent, and a significant number of people this year paid their entire 5-year assessment, the $2,500 up front, and that gave us enough money to do as many miles as we did this year. Next year, in the following years, we won't get to do as many miles. Does that explain? Okay. Excuse me. All right, if we move on from the roads. Joe, what did I do?
Hey, Tom, say something about ditches and culverts, you missed out on that.
The ditches and culverts.
Oh, Mary Beth reminded me I'm supposed to tell everybody, clean your ditches and culverts out. We do have a couple people that we've sent notices to. You're required to clean your ditches and culverts out and keep the water moving. We've got 2 individuals that we've sent notices to that in a few weeks, the maintenance department is gonna go tear them out. And we will be sending a bill to the homeowners for doing that. And that's important because it's not just for aesthetics. If the water piles up and then starts running across the road where it's not supposed to, it'll cause a problem. It'll create a rut there.
Hey, Tom, are you talking about just gonna clean the ditches or remove the culvert also?
We're gonna take out and remove culverts and replace them, yes. At the homeowner's expense.
Yeah, of course.
Okay? The election's coming up. What are we voting on? Well, we're voting on rules coming up. Barry and Eric Rohall were the co-chairs of the Rules Committee. The members on the committee were Dave May, Tom Bowman, Matt Wilson, and Bill Winkler. 14 rule changes were submitted, 10 bylaw changes were submitted, and of those 24, 3 of each made it to the ballot. And the criteria that they look at, is it legal, is it enforceable, and it is the right thing for the community. And again, 3 of each wound up on the ballot. You'll be seeing that when the ballot gets mailed out next week.
It's next. We go through them all next
We
slide.
do?
Yep.
All right. You should be doing this. So what are we voting on this year? The bylaw changes, our director qualifications, what it deals with, if you're involved in a lawsuit with the community, should you be allowed to be on the board? And that's not anybody making a statement one way or the other, it's just a question we're asking the community. The second one is the annual audit. Currently in our bylaws, we're only required to do a certified public accountant audit once every 3 years, 5 years. And then every other year it's supposed to be audited by a citizen or members committee. The members committee has not happened in my memory, but a couple years ago, Joe and I implemented doing an annual CPA audit, which is much better for the community. It allows us to make sure that our books are in order annually, not waiting 5 years. And honestly, at the end of the day, it wasn't that much more money because we had to pay somebody new every 5 years to come in and figure out what was going on. This year, we've got the same audit firm going year after year, and it's much smoother and much better for the community. And then the other bylaw change was, should a person or director doing business with the community, not with members, but doing business with the board and the HOA, should they be able to be on the board of directors? And again, no, that's just a question for the community. Everybody can vote on that. Rules and regulations. The first one is striking of a rule that was put in place in 2023, eliminating boats designed to increase weight. The rule number 2 is the striking of the rule also put in place in 2023 on excessive weight and adding increased penalties for violating that. And rule number 3 is clarification of a rule. We have a $500 fine, minimum fine for damage to association property, and they added, the person that submitted this rule added the word theft. So if you steal from the community, that's also subject to the same fine.
Hey, Tom, wouldn't theft be covered by local law enforcement?
Yes, but we also want a fine for that in addition.
Oh.
We're much more efficient than the local judicial system at getting things
You
done.
think so?
If you're familiar at all with the court system, our legal system moves fairly but slowly.
Right.
So, and then we're voting for the next slate of directors whose terms are up: John Howard, Barb Weber, Mike Devereaux, Bob Dixon, Kathy Ayers, and Bev Campbell. And I guess I turn it over to meet the candidates now. John, your name was drawn out of a hat for.
I had a question. Does that, rule number 3, is that an issue that really needs to be, is there enough that it really needs to be a rule? We get robbed enough that we need to make an additional fine? Strikes me as interesting.
I didn't submit the rule changes.
Well, of the 24 that got admitted, these are only 6 made it, and that's one of them, so it's gotta be, it must be important. I'm confused by the importance and how it made it and others didn't.
How much is that?
Meets the criteria.
It meets the criteria.
Sure, 20 others.
Thanks, Al. Yeah, I wasn't on the rules committee. I didn't write the rules, and those are the ones that fell out.
But as a board member, do we have to replace lots of stolen goods or items?
We've had one issue this year, and I think that's where this came from. And it was a minimal enough amount of money that the sheriff didn't take it very seriously. And this is what somebody felt we ought to add to the process to make it clearer. Okay, John Howard, step right up.
Boy, I'm sorry, Tom, you had one question in the back.
I had 2 questions. 2 submittals bylaws that were rejected, and I was told that they were rejected, but it could become a policy change. My submittals. And
Could you say that again? I'm not sure what
I
you're.
didn't understand it either. Okay, I submitted two things, for the bylaw changes. One was to put out who voted, when the board votes on things, who voted yea, nay, abstain, and absent. Okay, that was rejected. Another one was to, when you guys get results back from Dr. North with her recommendations, you had to post them within 3 days on the website, and they were both rejected. They were not allowed to be voted on. Okay, and I was told, you had Eric call me, and I was told that, it could be a policy change, that the board could make a decision on their own and vote on it. So, in other words, why were my things rejected anyway?
The issue of identifying what board member makes what vote, how they vote on each individual vote we take in the community has always been a policy, and that was changed several years ago to just keep them anonymous. We vote as a group, and that was why it's not a bylaw. I'll address both those right up front, though. I found in the 4 years I've been on the board, it's very rewarding. I enjoy it. I've had a good time. I felt like I've contributed to the community. But let me tell you, Joe, there's a lot of shit we take from people. And it is very tough to get good people to want to serve on the board with us and put the effort into it. But when you start putting requirements in for the board to do things that you think they ought to do, like be upfront with how you voted, because that's just one more way for me to get my name in Facebook and take shit for how I voted. That discourages other people from running for the board. When you put a requirement on Gary that he's got to run right out the minute he gets a result from Dr. North and put those, you can't read these things. I don't understand what those reports say. I have to listen to what they say on the phone. We put out what the results are. Stay out of the water, stay out of the green muck in the water. Those are the kind of messages everybody needs to hear. Do you need to see the technical data behind all the reports within 3 days? What value or change or improvement to the community are you going to make if we get that information posted, all the detail on the website? It just makes Gary's job that much harder and makes him not want to be on the board that much more. If you think this is an easy job, run for the board. I didn't see your name on the list.
Gary, I have personal reasons that I can't run for the board, okay? So let's leave it at that. So I want to be.
Well, don't make the job harder for the rest of us.
All I'm saying is, there's two things I would ask for, and they would reject me.
Well,
But yours weren't the only ones, Joe.
yours weren't the only ones.
There was more.
Oh, I know that.
There was more.
But thanks for doing it.
And now John Howard can tell how much he wants to be on the board.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. 2 years of this is plenty, but I'm willing to step forward and put my name forth to run again. I've been here with my wife Sue for a little over 10 years and have been doing things around the properties, bring things up to par, I think. And I want to continue to do that for everybody. And I'm also, as everybody probably knows, I'm in charge of permits. But I'm also enforcing the borough and rules and regulations for everybody in here. Property rights are a big thing, and I hear a lot of it, well, you did this, you did that. But I said to one gentleman who complained, I said, didn't I prevent somebody from building too close to your line? Oh yeah, I remember that now. So it goes both ways. So I'm just here to set my name forward again, and hope you vote for me.
Barb is next, and she couldn't be here today, so we'll see if.
But I had to be here. She got lucky. She got to go to see the grandkids.
I'm a candidate for Indian Legislature, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you all in person, but currently I'm in Kansas City babysitting 2 of our grandchildren. We were fortunate enough to have 8, with the 9th one on the way, from our 3 wonderful daughters, the one in Kansas City and 2 in Webster Groves. So let me give you a little background about myself. currently retired. I graduated with a degree in administration of justice. Didn't really do anything directly related with it because most of my career was in the financial services industry. I did a lot of training. I was a financial advisor for a number of years, and then my final stint in the industry was as a branch auditor. So that probably tells you I'm a little bit of a rule follower. I think they're important. I think it's something that is important to keep our community as good as it is, and I hope that you'll consider me as one of the candidates here for one of the open positions. Hope you all have a great day, and look forward to meeting a lot of you down the road.
We're live, I can't say nothing. I'm kidding.
She can see your face.
No, it's
So
not
hopefully
that
she
way.
can't.
Before you go on, who are the members going off? It's always hard to understand, we're voting for 5 of the 7.
Good question.
But I'm like, who are we, do you wanna thank them first of all?
Well, my term's up and I'm
Oh, okay,
rerunning.
but you're running again.
I'm running,
Got it.
rerunning.
Okay.
Same for myself.
Okay, and Bob, okay.
And
one of those two.
Al's term is up and he's not rerunning.
Okay, thank you.
Smart. I mean,
And Barry, I'm drawing a
Oh,
blank.
yeah, that's right.
Barry Allen just resigned, and Eric Roloff just
Okay,
resigned.
thank you.
we want to thank them for their service.
Yeah, we thank them for the service, of course. Barry was on for 4.5 years and just got burnt out doing it. And Eric was on for a short period of time and just figured out it wasn't for him. And so they moved on. Now Michael Devereaux put his name in. There he is. I don't recognize him. We've talked on the phone a couple of times. But step right up here and
Get over.
I'll be good. So I'm new to the community. My wife and I just bought a place last April, so we've been here just a little over a year. We've been here just a little over a year. I'm running for the board because I really just want to help. I don't really have any agenda, don't really know how I can help, but I'm at a point in my life where I'm kind of getting back, and if there's something I can do, I have a financial background. I've had a CPA firm for 30 years, and now I do consulting work in financial area, helping people get financing and building models and budgeting and things like that. So at least I felt like I wanted to be on the board this morning. And I know Joe, so I know what a pain he can be sometimes. And that's all I have. Thank you.
next up is Robert Dixon.
Thank you.
All set there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As a 25-year member in good standing and a 5-year board member, I wish to continue to serve. In 5 years as a board member, I served as president 3 years, chair of our CARE committee for the past 4 years, as well as other committees. I am proud of the significant increase in compliance to our rules and regulations over the past 4 years, whether that be nuisance properties, boating safety, trespassing, or other member-determined unwanted behavior. Should I be elected, I will continue to help make our community safer and more compliant. Thank you.
And Kathy, yours is up next.
Good afternoon, I'm Kathy Ayers, and I've been a board member for a day.
Are you gonna make it 2?
I don't know, we'll find out. I was the next up on the list after Barry resigned earlier a few weeks ago. And from the 2024 election, my name was the next on the list, so I was asked to come serve out his term, which I am. And I'm also seeking to run for another term. I would like to be elected. My husband Dan and I have been down here since the end of 2019. we hope to be our retirement home. My career has also been spent in finance. We got a lot of us people here. So I guess that's a good thing. We want to make sure that the finances are appropriate and transparent, and that we're spending the money wisely, that the membership is entrusting with the board. I also own and operate my own CPA firm. I currently am doing that in St. Louis, and hope to be opening a satellite office here in Cuba, maybe as early as next summer. I've also spent many years volunteering. When my kids were in school, I was always on the parent boards, on the band's board, did a lot of finance stuff because nobody else wanted to do that, in the Liberty School District. And I've also been in the HOAs of 2 of my last 20 years at subdivisions that I've lived in. I've served on the HOA boards there. So I just want to continue to do what I can to help make this lake a great place, keep the health of the lake, the health of the community. If we don't have a great lake, we don't have anything here to work on, or we don't have anything that's going to keep us all here. We got to make sure this lake stays healthy. I think we had an excellent presentation about where we go forward from here on how to keep the lake thriving. I want to continue to support the road project and continue to support all of the great things that are being done by the members here. We've got a great community full of caring people. I'd like to continue to contribute to that and see what ways I can help in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. And last one up, Bev Campbell.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you everyone for being patient and staying through all these meetings today. I know it's really hard on the weekend to do that. So what have I been doing for the last year? I was standing here a year ago asking for your vote, and here I am again. So what have I done in the last year? As Bob Dixon said, I took on the job of bringing our neighborhood watch back alive again. It had died out, nothing was happening, and I was asked if I would be interested in doing that. So I did, and I'm very excited in the direction it's going. And briefly, I want to tell everybody that there is a community-wide meeting going to be held October 23rd, right here at 6 o'clock. All you have to do is bring questions and your own drinks. Food for dinner will be supplied by the Neighborhood Watch Advisory Committee. This is our way of getting in front of you and asking you at this point where you see the Neighborhood Watch going, or at that point. Also, I touched a little bit on this last year, but we need a long-term plan for this community. We don't have one. The board did put a committee in place, that didn't go anywhere. They were going completely the wrong direction, had no idea really what a long-term plan should look like, especially for this unique community. I have been involved in long-term planning committees throughout my career as being director of medical clinics in rural towns. I've always had to work with the community to find out exactly what they needed out of these medical clinics. So I have a lot of experience in that field, and I've been talking, I was a part of the long-term committee that they did have here, but after a couple of meetings, I did have a talk with some of the board members because I was concerned on the direction it was going, and they decided to put that on hold for a while. So I would be excited to be able to be on that in a formal position and help this community. What can long-term planning do for us? It helps us know what is needed in this community for the next 5, 10 years, rather than all of a sudden it's like, oh, we've got to do this, how can we get the money and stuff? We have a long-term plan for it. What comes along with that long-term plan is how we finance it. So there are many things that go into it, very key things. But one of the things we can reduce by having one is less assessments, which I know everybody has issues with when it comes up, but how else do we do things here? So long-term planning will help reduce the need for special assistance. With that, I would also recommend that we look into having a BERS committee. Our BERS relate back to the 20th century, and this community was first developed. We're in the 21st century. Things change. We can't live by rules that don't comply to this century. And in that, you will also help negate special assessments, because we can do more things to raise money for the long-term planning and other issues that come up at this community. Look forward to your vote. Thank you.
Normally, that would bring us to the end of our meeting, but Gary Weber has decided that he needs to talk more about the lake. Mr. Klein, I will address your question first.
We need to approve the 2024 minutes for your agenda.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
Just got right into it. So excited.
Did somebody, would you make a motion to?
I make a motion, we approve the 2024 annual meeting minutes as proposed.
Second. We have a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Good.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Klein.
Second thing, I got a question though. We forgot to say Pledge of Allegiance.
I even asked Mary Beth if I was supposed to do it for the first meeting. She said, no, just do it for the annual.
There you go, blaming somebody.
Bob, you weren't on the board long enough. I think you need to sign up for another term, buddy.
Should we do it now?
Now, let's keep moving.
How much dues are for 2025, how much money is still owed for the roads?
We don't owe any
No,
money.
No, how much do we need to collect still?
Yes.
That is,
Yeah. You have the answer?
You did this. You just did that. You just looked at
I
it.
think you had it yesterday.
I don't know the exact dollar, but there are 14 people we turned over to collections that have not paid their dues or their assessments going back 3 years. And we have another 14 people that got final notices, and November 1st, we will be turning those over for collections. Is that what you were looking for?
Yes.
All right. Now, Mr. Weber would like to talk about the lake again.
Yes, I'll definitely make this relatively quick. You heard Rebecca North at her closing comments talk about vegetation, correct? Well, have you heard about ILWIC? ILWIC. Indian Lake Land and Water Enhancement Committee. It's a small, it's a mouthful, trust me. We're a small group of volunteers that are volunteering to help with lake restoration projects. Lake restoration is a big thing. It's a huge thing. But this committee wants to help out by planting water willows and also asking for more volunteers to help us when we get this thing more underway. This thing started about a year ago. We called it the MDC project, Missouri Conservation Project, talking to them, finding out what we need to do for fisheries and things like that. And it just evolved to the name Indian Lake Land and Water Enhancement Committee. If anybody wants to help their name change, I'll be happy to accept any names you want to suggest for us. But the committee wants to raise money, okay? And our sweetheart, Cindy Dubois, does anybody remember these license plates from way back when? Well, the committee, what we're trying to do is raise money, so that we don't have to go to the clubs, don't have to go to the board, and say, we're wanting to plant these different irises, or whatever it might be along the shorelines of we'll have monies available. So Cindy is asking If anybody is interested, we're gonna order we have to order 125 of these plates, okay? I don't know if you can put them on your car, because you have to have both plates up front and back. For those that have a truck like mine, I can put this on the back, so I can sell them
Golf
there.
cart?
Mainly for the golf carts.
You got a B plate,
A who plate?
you got the truck plate itself.
Correct.
Single plate only.
Single plane only, correct. So we have a sheet up here if anybody's interested in ordering a license
much
plate.
are
I
they?
think there's
How much?
$35. Okay, seems like a lot, but not for what we're gonna use the money for. Okay, so we have a sheet up here, and if you're interested, you know, we'll be happy to take an order from you. And if you're interested in knowing more about what we're trying to do as a committee, we can put you on an email list and forward you information about what we're trying to accomplish. We meet every, board meetings, every second Friday of the month?
Yes.
So we meet here at 9 o'clock on every second Friday of the month to talk about what we're trying to accomplish. So it's open to anybody that wants to come out and hear what's going on or volunteer. Yes?
Is part of what, Mr. McGurk has done at the end?
Where's Johnny?
Yeah, he's planning.
Johnny McGurk, where are you? Is he still here? Absolutely. This is, Johnny is part of the committee. Norma, his lovely wife, is a part of it. It's not board driven, please understand. I'm not standing up here to promote this as a board project. This is a community project. And we are wanting volunteers. What I said before, we have to take stewardship in this community. And this is one little way that you might be able to help improve what we're trying to accomplish here. So.
But what I wanted to say
Yes.
is everybody realized that what he's done, why he chose the American chestnut.
Oh, yes.
that type of
I think the question is, you know, all that you've been seeing going on, all the planting on the island, up at the front entranceway, everything is native plants from Missouri. That's pretty cool. And what we're gonna try to do is put names of the trees and plants, make them out of metal so they last a long time. So some, because I don't know how many people say, oh, Gary, what kind of trees did they just plant up there? I have no clue. They told me, but I don't remember, and I can't even pronounce the name of some of them anyway. So we're trying to really enhance the beauty of the community. And please volunteer. Yes.
Is there any way we could put the cattails back on around the island that were taken away?
That's a great question. Who took them away in the first place?
I don't know.
We don't know. That's again, topic for discussion. Is cattails for sure one of the ones, or is it going to be the pickleweed, irises, or what are those? Again, I think if we can get this lake to a more natural beauty and let Mother Nature do her thing to help us with this lake and the beauty of the land that we're going to have surrounding the lake, how can we lose? So, if anybody's interested, please let us know. Sign up. We'll get you the information. If you want a plate, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, we'll be happy to give you a discount down for 4. Okay?
No problem.
That's all I have. Who's next? Where's Tom? Thank you.
Okay. That concludes the prepared and unprepared portions of our meeting. Does anybody have any other questions for the board?
Is there anything we can do for the gal that talked, with her helping us, getting our samples to the front of the line or anything, even though she is a university employee, throw her a bone, give her a gift card or a dinner or something like that? I mean,
That's a great idea.
She desperately needs a new van. She's made it clear she's low on the list of on the totem pole. She's low on the list when it comes to the motor pool at Mizzou. But in all seriousness, we'll take that. That's a good thought. We should do something like that. We'll do something nice for her.
Thank you. Thank
Steve?
you. Another hand, Steve.
Fair amount of walking through here pretty much daily, and I know that there's more issues, or it might not be possible, but especially along the main straight roads, maybe a couple speed limit signs sure couldn't hurt. I know there are a few out there, but they're very few, and especially where we're seeing most of the speed.
Yeah.
I know that's an expense. I know there's more to it than just say we need it,
It's a very, very good question. We talked about that in the board meeting yesterday, what we could do, and Bob on the care committee said that they're going to be discussing the different ways they can help slow traffic down. And I think a lot of it's getting Mike out there, just being visible and letting people know. Anything else?
I do have one question. What are the hours that security actually runs the roads?
We don't want to say no.
Talk about that.
You get more coverage.
Whatever it is, tell them it's 12 hours more.
Yeah.
I'm talking about before 7 a.m. in the morning. I go out of here 2 days a week early going to the food pantry. And believe me, the speed that's coming in and out of here in early in the morning and at night, it ain't 30 miles an hour.
I'll address you. First of all, we publish the hours
That's okay.
So we keep them brand for very good reasons.
Sure.
But the exit area has been one of our hot spots, so you are absolutely correct. Many members have told us that, we've reacted.
Yes.
So yes, that is one of the hot spots that we look at constantly.
Thank you.
Mark?
What would it take to drop the speed limit from 30 to 25?
Mark, we talked about that as a group years ago, and my personal feeling, Bob, you can add to this if you want. There are studies from different states that have shown if you artificially lower the speed limit, we're below where the natural speed should be, it actually gets worse. So if you make it slow enough, people say, screw it, we're just gonna drive as fast as we want. So that's not really a good solution. Bob?
But it would take a rule and regulation change.
Yeah. You could submit a rule change for that, but that's been the thought on that. I saw another hand. Kit?
I have a question. So, with the chip and field, and we have a good rain and the runoff that's gonna go in our lake, is that gonna affect the lake?
It should not.
Considered it?
The oil is set, and it should not be running off. The chips will wind up in the shoulders and on the ditch, what doesn't get packed down.
If it goes in the water, it's granite, right? I mean, it's there.
Yeah, the chips won't hurt. It's crushed granite. John?
What type, is it, coal tar, or what's it made out of, the oil?
Beats the hell out of me, Mary Beth, you have an idea.
It's some kind of a number oil that they.
It's a petroleum-based oil, I guess we know that much, but, and it's got a number that goes with it that mean nothing to me.
Hey, Tom, can I say something too about the new roads? Bink told us, everybody, if you're on the road by yourself, you tend to drive in the middle of it. Don't do that. Drive on the right side of the road, because what we need is for the rocks to get ground in.
Compaction.
So if we all are driving in the middle, it's getting everything pushed up here, and then it's not gonna drain. So please, be kind of sense and drive on the right side of the road, like you typically would if somebody else is coming the other way.
Anything?
Why you need a striped line?
Yeah. Anything else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Thank John for the sound system. Thank John for.
Oh, John McMillan helped us with the sound system here. Thank you very much for that today.
I'll make a motion that we retire.
We are all second.
Let's adjourn. Thank you very much, everybody.